Well, it looks like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are in for yet another twist in their so-called fairy tale exit from the royal family, and honestly, can we even pretend we didn't see this coming? The royal family, in a move that's basically as subtle as a sledgehammer, seems to be tightening the screws on the Sussexes once again, and it couldn't be more deliciously dramatic. After stripping them of their Her Royal Highness titles back in 2020, it seems like the monarchy is finally deciding to make it crystal clear that Harry and Meghan are about as royal as a Hollywood red carpet. But here's the kicker. Harry and Meghan, of course, haven't exactly been shy about holding on to their Duke and Duchess titles. It's almost like they want to have their cake and eat it too, cling to the perks of being royal without actually doing anything remotely royal. Now, insiders are whispering, and by whispering, we mean they're practically shouting from the rooftops, that there's a growing movement in royal circles to clarify those titles. What does that mean? Well, buckle up, because it could mean calling them Mr. and Mrs. Sussex in public, which seems fair enough. After all, what is a Duke and Duchess who have essentially resigned from any royal duty? But don't worry, they might still cling to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles for a while longer. How lovely for them. Social media, as expected, is exploding with reactions. Although, let's be real, half of these responses are just people watching this train wreck in slow motion, popcorn in hand. One Twitter user called it a total snub. But really, what did they expect? Harry and Meghan wanted out, remember? They wanted the freedom of being independent and outside the system. So why are they now complaining when the system starts treating them like, well, outsiders? Another response summed it up nicely. They wanted out, and now they're getting exactly what they asked for. Can we get a round of applause for the stunning accuracy? Royal expert Richard Eden has weighed in too, with what feels like the most obvious observation ever. This move is sending a very clear message. Of course it is. The monarchy wants nothing to do with these two, playing pretend at royal duties while cashing in on all the privileges of being Duke and Duchess. The palace is making sure everyone knows that Harry and Meghan's status is basically one big no entry sign. And let's not forget the rumour mill that King Charles might be looking to trim down unused royal titles. Well, considering Harry and Meghan have already stepped away from royal duties and have done everything possible to distance themselves, is it really that shocking to think that their precious Sussex title could be on the chopping block? Spoiler alert, it might just be. Here's where things get a bit rich. The whole idea that this shift in titles is some sort of punishment for stepping back from royal life. But, oh please, don't kid yourselves. This is exactly what Harry and Meghan wanted. They've repeatedly spoken about how they wanted to live their own lives, free from royal constraints. And yet here they are, crying foul when those constraints are removed and the glittering royal image they've tried so hard to build is finally being peeled away. If there's any punishment here, it's simply the consequence of their own actions. They wanted the perks without the responsibilities, and now they're getting a cold dose of reality. Welcome to the consequences of choosing fame over family. And let's talk about identity for a second, shall we? The idea that Harry and Meghan are being distanced from their royal heritage by losing their titles is laughable. If they feel any loss, it's likely because they realize that their carefully cultivated public personas might not have much staying power without that royal branding. The sad truth is, they've spent the last few years creating a narrative of "we want freedom," but as soon as they're pushed out of the royal fold, they cry about it. They can't have it both ways. They either want to be a part of the royal family or they don't. But trying to play both sides while making millions off royal connections? Please, let's face it. The royal family's actions, whether you agree with them or not, are just a response to the very public spectacle that Harry and Meghan created. From dramatic Netflix deals to tell-all interviews, the Sussexes have made sure that their relationship with the monarchy is front and center in every headline. And now that the royal family is finally taking a step back, it's clear that their version of independence isn't as glamorous as they thought. In conclusion, this isn't some grand punishment or an attempt to erase the Sussexes. It's the monarchy doing what monarchies do, maintaining their image and making sure everyone knows who's in charge. Harry and Meghan wanted out, and they've gotten exactly what they asked for: separation, distance, and a reality check. The only question now is how long they'll keep pretending they don't care about the titles they've worked so hard to keep. Will they continue to complain about being erased, or will they simply enjoy the freedom they so desperately wanted? Time will tell, but one thing's for sure: the drama is far from over. Stay tuned.